All right, another week, another video about cash accrued puts and cover calls and the results for the week. And for those of you that tune in every week, I appreciate you. If you leave comments, I recognize your comments. I appreciate the feedback. The feedback lets me know that people are watching and they are learning something. Maybe not learning, maybe being entertained, whatever. Seeing examples of what I'm doing. You can see what I do and what works. I don't sugarcoat anything. I don't cherry pick only certain trades and share those. I share all my trades of cash accrued puts and cover calls that I'm doing to generate income. So even the good, the bad, the ugly, and I don't know if there's too much ugly this week, but there's been some ugly in the past. And when I say ugly, not just ugly, just things that kind of linger, and I got to like roll it forward, take a little bit of a loss each week till it kind of recovers and I can get a credit. It's, if you know what cash card puts and cover calls are, you know what I'm talking about. But you didn't come here to listen to me ramble. Maybe you did. If you did, that's fine too. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't. And then this is not financial advice. I'm just showing examples of what I'm doing with my money and also my wife's money. And the funny thing is, sometimes I don't think she knows what I'm doing with our money, but her hobby is gardening. And so maybe she should make gardening videos and post those. And then my hobby is this. So that's why I post this. Anywho, people ask like, hey, you'll lose all your money. Options is dangerous. Well, the options they're probably thinking about is like selling leaps or something like that. And then, it decays and your money disappears. And yeah, so there's good ways to make money in options and there's not so good ways to make money in options. And for me, my good way is selling cash card puts and cover calls. And that's what I focus on. And that's what we're doing here in this video. So 10% of our total bucket of money is used for option trading, generate income, and I use that money to supplement our retirement. In the last couple of weeks, I've been saying that this bucket has kind of grown, and so we've taken some money out of this bucket and put it back over into this growth bucket a little bit. And this cash bucket here is our income bucket, like our checking and savings, our living expenses, and it gets funded by some pension income, and the majority comes from this bucket right here is funding most of our retirement. And then I got some income funds such as QQQI, SPY-I, and some of the TAP Alpha funds, also like GPIQ and some things like, and the distributions from some of those also come over here. The majority is from this option income bucket. Okay, so I just jumped over to the tracking spreadsheet here, and let's go ahead and look at the total. So this is the week ending on the 14th from Monday through Friday. And did I not do any trades on Tuesday? It looks like I didn't make a, so Tuesday must have been a slow day. It doesn't matter. So if I highlight these profits here, made $2,780 for the week. So that's pretty good. My goal is $5,000 per month, and I've been exceeding that quite well the past several weeks. Last week, if you didn't tune in, made $4,125. The week before that was a really good week, was $6,468. So I said earlier, the good, the bad, the ugly. So sometimes I roll a trade, and when I do, I take a short-term loss, like the $72 on this Uber here. And then later, so it says rolled right here, I still had it, and then I closed it here, made $277. So when you figure the 277 and the 72, I ended up making like $200 on that trade. So, I wouldn't call it too ugly. You go way back here, and then this Netflix one here, we'll talk about that in a minute. I rolled that one forward because it was going to expire, and I didn't want to buy the shares at $80. So by rolling it, basically you're just kicking the can down the road a little bit and getting a credit. So if I just go all the way down here to this week here, you see this Netflix here, I closed it and then I profited 503. However, if you factor in the 556 overall, I ended up losing like $50 on that trade. And I just kind of wanted to get out of that trade at that $80 strike price. Take a look here and see if we can find it. So it's actually been creeping up. It's like 77, So I just didn't want to get assigned at 80. It wouldn't have been horrible because I could have did cover calls at 80, but it's also in a taxable account. And my taxable account, I kind of don't like holding the shares. I kind of like just doing the cash secured puts and collecting premium. So when I initiated that trade, it was trading at 86. So, and it went all the way down. At this point, it was like 73. So it went down quite a bit. Anyhow, so I might do another cash secured put on Netflix maybe next week, maybe like a 70 strike price instead of 80. Because I don't, Netflix isn't going to go anywhere, I don't think. Well, that's what I said when I picked an 80 strike price. Anyhow, some of the trades I closed, this NASA one. So that was a cash secured put. I didn't make much on that. I actually just kind of wanted to get out of that trade with a little bit of profit because I already have some shares that I own that I'm doing cover calls on right down here. And actually, my basis is 34 and it's trading about 25. So I definitely didn't want to end up with more shares, but if I would have got assigned at 25, my average cost that I would pay for it would be around 30. So if this drops down maybe to around $20, I might just go ahead and buy 100 more shares, and that will bring my average price down. I'll have 300 shares then, and then I might bring that average cost down like to $28 or $29, and I can do cover calls and make a little extra premium on that. But for something like this, I don't want to have it be much more than 10,000 of my total, more than $10,000 invested as collateral. And right now, because I paid $34 per share and I have 200 shares, I got like $7,000 wrapped up into it. So yeah, I could do 100 more shares and be okay, I suppose, with that. So the best trade of the week was Iron, which was a cover call. If you've been following this trade, I did cash secured puts on this a while back at 40, and the price dropped way down. I think I had one contract at 40, and it dropped down like to $33. And I thought it was a bargain at that price. So I got assigned at 40. So my average price was 40. And then when it was down like to 33, I just outright bought 200 shares of it. And then I start doing cover calls with a 40 strike price. So my average cost then was at 35. So I've been doing cover calls at 40, collecting some really good premium, like $750 here. Now today, the market is still open, but last I checked, it was trading at 44.89. So let's take a look. So 44.37. So it's come down a little bit today, but no matter what, unless it really crashes, I'll have those shares taken away at 40. So to explain that a little bit, I did a cover call. I agreed to sell those shares at $40 per share. Well, looks like it's going to close at 44 or above. So some people look at this and say, wow, you lost $4 per share. You could have got an extra $4 per share, which would have been times 300, an extra $1,200 I could have made. Well, I don't have a crystal ball, and that's okay. But what I did do, I did make an extra $5 per share because my average cost was 35 and I'm selling it at 40 plus the premium. So, and then not to count the premium that I made previously back here in some of these other trades, 249 here, 248 here. So this has been doing quite well for me, this ticker. So I'll turn around and look at doing more cash secured puts on this, but not probably when it's trading at 44. I'll see if it can dip back down around the 40 mark and try to do cash secured puts around, I don't know, somewhere in the 30s, like 38 or so. And we'll just wait and see. I closed a couple cover calls on Meta. So we own probably about 900 shares of METU, which is the double leverage Meta. So there's 5 contracts here, 4 contracts here. My average cost is 22. So I could probably go ahead and do cover call on that here real soon. I think it's going to climb back up quite a bit. So I was kind of waiting for the price to climb up a little bit and then do a cover call, like maybe at 26 or something. But we'll wait and see what Monday brings, and then I can decide then. So it's still kind of early on Friday. I'll be leaving for the rest of the day here to do some hobbies outside. So that's why I'm making this video while the market is still open, and then I'll edit it Friday night or Saturday morning. So I've been doing some cash secured puts on the Intel leveraged ETF, and that's been giving me some pretty good premium here, $258 here. I sold a put at $1.30 per share bought it back at 44. And then I'll talk about this one right here, this Planet Labs one that I did for the very first time. I did just one contract just to try to get the feel of it. So, if you're just getting started with cash secured puts, you find something, like a $20 stock of some sort. So Planet Labs is, trading reasonably somewhat cheap, but it's pretty volatile. And so I did one contract. So you need $2,100 for collateral. And I did a cash secured put. It was trading about 24 when I did that. So 21 strike price. And look here, and it's like 65 cents per share. So not much premium. So $65 total I was going to make off that. And I ended up holding it for 4 days, and I bought it back early. So I made a 1.9% return on my 2,100 in 4 days. So, savings account pays about 2 or 3% per year, maybe even not that. And I got 2% in 4 days. So that's not too bad. And if I did that over and over, it'd be like 173% return for the year. Yes, I know that's not feasible, but I like to look at that anyhow. Anyhow, if you want to see how I actually close a trade early, I made a video that I posted earlier on Friday today when I'm recording this video on how to close a trade early. So I went in, I show how to close this and lock in this price. So if that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and take a look at that. And the other thing I did a video today on selling a cash secured put on IoT, Samsara. I did that live also and showed how that's done. So those are some things you're interested in. You can pop in and take a look. So for next week, so these are all the trades I have open here, all these right here. And I'll be closing quite a few of these. Actually, if you look at the expiration dates, the 21st of August. And the reason why I have so many on August 21st is this is like the monthly options. And I like to trade the monthly options quite a bit because there's a lot of volume and activity. So it's easier to get in and out of trades because there's a lot of people trading. And then the next monthly option is on the 18th of September. So I'm starting to trade some options on those days. Now, there are weekly options on some other things that have high volume, like Carnival Cruise Lines and the double leverage Tesla, the double leverage NVIDIA, and then TQQQ, obviously. Something I want to look at is what TQQQ is doing because I'm starting to accumulate a little bit of cash here. And I want to kind of keep that cash available. So if the NVDL takes a little bit of a dip, or if TQQQ takes a little bit of a dip, I can do some cash secured puts on those. So let's quickly just take a look, see what Monday might bring. So here's the chart for TQQQ. It's 6 months, and you can see it was, down here below 60 here about a month ago or so. And you see the moving average here, 20-day moving average is about 69. The RSI is above 50. So it is not what you would call overbought. In fact, if it creeps up to 80, it would be overbought. So, looking at the chart, it's not an ideal time to do cash secured put. But, like if 70 might be a decent strike price, is it attractive at 70? You can see it back here, it shot up to 85. And then this dip here was like around 69 or 70. And then it dipped down here. But, the new trading range might be like between 70 and 80 now, so this might be right in the middle. So if I look at the option chain here, so we have TQQQ, I already did a search for that. Let's do puts. And then I'll do September 18th. That's about 30 days from now, 35 days. And actually, let's go about 2 weeks because that's probably what I would realistically do. Let's do maybe September 4th. Let's check these here just so you know that we're looking at September 4th. And I said 70 is something I'm kind of like looking at. And let's see what the premium is here. So one thing, the delta is 27, meaning there's about a 27% chance the price might go down here to, actually this is 71. There's a 27% chance that the price might go to 71, and I would get assigned those shares on September 18th at 71. And I was saying 70, so 70 strike price here, the delta is 24. Let's just say 25. So there's 25% chance that I would get assigned at 70. And the premium would be about $1.70 per contract. So if I were to do, 2 contracts, I'd make about $340 approximately, and have to have like $14,000 in collateral. So let's look at September 18th and see how inviting that one looks. Okay, so we have 70 strike price. The premium here would be $278 per share. So for 2 contracts, it'd be $550 approximately. And there's a 28% chance that I would get assigned at 70. So about the same percent chance, but you get more premium, but you have to wait longer for it to expire. So if I was going to do any cash card puts on TQQQ next week, I would probably be picking the September 4th expiration just to get in there and get out of it sooner. For TQQQ and NVDL, I usually go out like 1 to 3 weeks. I'll go longer, but 1 to 3 weeks, I kind of like that time period a little bit. Yeah, so like 70 would be probably, I'd feel comfortable there. If I was going to be a little more aggressive, I could even go 72, 0.30 delta. And the thing about TQQQ is that, it's an index tied to the QQQQ. It's triple leverage. So it moves 3 times the amount of QQQQ. So that volatility doesn't scare me. What it does is it generates higher premiums. If you look down here, I do have some cash accrued puts on TQQQ. But if you look, 2 of these are way out in December. They're way out there. And if I wait and hold on to those to the very end, for this one, for example, $700 premium, which I've already collected that. If I buy that back early, then I'll have to pay some back. And this one here, if it goes to 0, it'd be $765. There's 3 contracts here, 2 contracts here. And here's one that I already have for September 4th. And actually, that is not TQQ. That's a mistake. That's a different ticker. I need to go in and fix that. Okay, I actually looked real close. This is actually American Airlines that I have here. I must have accidentally typed in the wrong ticker. So that's a good thing about making these videos. I get to double check myself. So American Airlines, I'll talk about that just real briefly. I was doing cash card puts on that about every 2 weeks and doing really, really well. It was in a trading range between about 12.5 and 14. And then it kind of shot up to like around 15 and then even a little bit higher. And then I kind of stayed away from it for a while, but it looks like it might have created a new trading range. So I popped up the chart here. So you see that it was high as 18 here, and then it came kind of crashing back down to 1462. And now it's kind of, the 20-day moving average is around 15 something. The 50-day moving average is around 1570. So I kind of feel like maybe the new trading range here is between, let's say, 1450 and maybe 16 in that range here. I think it's going to hover around there, but you see it's kind of just been on a uptrend for the longest time. And then, like I said, I kind of quit trading when it was spiking high, and I did not trade when it was going down because I would have got a sign, probably in here somewhere. But now I think it's kind of leveling out a little bit. That 50-day moving average is still going up a little bit. The 20 days kind of starting to level out. So I did a few more cash secured puts on that. Did 5 contracts, 7,000 collateral. So if I get a sign, then I'll do cover calls on it. So anyhow, once again, review 2780 for the week. And don't forget, if you want to learn how to close a trade early, the Planet Labs here did a video on that, so search for that. If you want to know how to sell cash secured put, I did one video earlier today. There are several videos on my channel how to do cash secured puts and cover calls, and you can take a look at that. So with that, we'll wrap it up. We'll see you next week and see you in the next video.